Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot patterning. And I've got a combination out here today that we haven't tried, and it's kind of a shell that we have not seen on the channel in a number of months. And to be quite honest with you, I don't exactly remember how good or how bad it actually performs. I think it's kind of average, but I really don't remember, to be honest with you. So definitely curious to see what it can do today through this setup anyway, which has given us some mixed results before. So for the shell I've got out here today, I brought out some of these. These are some older, probably late 80s into the early 90s era Federal Magnum Buckshot loads. They are a 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 12 pellet double-aught buck load. So definitely something pretty interesting here, and one that we haven't tested in a good long while. And as for the setup I've got out here today, I brought back out the Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag here, but I threw in the stock full choke for the gun this morning. Stock full chokes are typically what I run, or at least try to start with, when it comes to buckshot loads. So we'll start here and we'll see what kind of results it gives us, and we can kind of go from there based on what we see as for results. But this 835 has given us kind of mixed results when it comes to buckshot and larger shot sizes like BB and number 2 and stuff like that. It's done okay with some, and others hasn't done so great with. So definitely interested to see how this combination works with the older buckshot today. But as for the test, we're going to do everything the same as we usually do it. Got the big piece of paper set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll be able to get our speed, which is not posted anywhere on the box. So we'll definitely be able to see what kind of velocity we're actually getting. But we'll take our shot, we'll look at our chrono numbers, and then we'll go down range and see how they performed. As always, I do have the templates that we can lay up and get a better reference point to see how it actually patterned in some closer to real life scenarios. So let's go over here, get you guys a view of the target, and I'll head up and shoot them, and let's see what these old Federal Magnum Buckshot shells can do through this 835. Okay, so that shell gave us 1089 through the chronograph. That's probably realistically about right for being at least a 25, if not 35-year-old buckshot shell. 2 3/4 inch with 12 pellets in it. Probably the 1100 to 1200 feet per second mark was what I would have guessed, and they were probably claiming 1100 based on that number. So I wouldn't say that's too far off from what I would have expected, even though it is a little bit lower on the velocity than a modern load like that would be. So nothing too strange up here, I wouldn't say. But as for our target down range, I ain't so sure about that, but let's go down and take a look at it anyway. Alright y'all, well, we're down here now at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now the white dot was our point of aim, and the paper is 36 inches wide by a little bit more than 36 inches tall, and it's not great, to put it plain and simple. I mean, I think maybe our core area is a touch to the left, but just looking here, I mean, we've got a pellet all the way down towards the bottom there. We've got one all the way over on the right edge of the paper. We've got one all the way up at the very top edge of the paper. So definitely not great. And that's supposed to be a 12 pellet load of double-aught buck, and it only put 8 pellets on this big piece of paper down here at 40 yards. Definitely not all that amazing, I wouldn't say. Now, is that solely due to the 835 and choke combination? I don't think it necessarily helped, but I don't think that's the entire story. I don't believe these loads have any kind of buffer material in them or anything like that. I know they don't have a wad, so it's pretty much probably just the bare buckshot pellets loaded into a plastic shell, which definitely don't give us any kind of help when it comes to patterns like this. So I don't know on this one. Definitely very poor performance overall here. Not a combination that I would definitely pick out, or definitely wouldn't be my first choice anyway, that's for sure. Even though it looks this bad, we'll throw a couple templates up just to see what it would have done if you would have actually taken this shot out in the field somewhere. It's not going to look great, I can tell you that right now, but let's just see what it gave us. I guess we'll start with the 10-inch circle. I don't think we're going to have hardly anything in it, but let's throw it up and just see what it might have gave us. Alright, so there's the 10-inch circle template, and as we can see, one pellet within a 10-inch circle at 40 yards, not great at all. Now, one pellet is technically enough to do the job, but absolutely not what I'm looking for at all, and a pretty disappointing performance here, there's no doubt about it. So let's put the deer template up here, I guess, and just see what it would have looked like if you hadn't tested your setup beforehand and you just went out in the field and took this shot. I don't think it's going to be great, but let's throw it up there and see if you would have actually come home with the deer or not. All right, well, here's the deer template, and like I suspected, not anything super amazing looking. If we line it up with our point of aim, we would have had 5 pellets actually hit this deer. Now these 3 right here probably would have got back of the lungs area, so I do absolutely think that this would have been a dead deer. Now how far would it have run? That's a different story. So overall here, absolutely a disappointment. I'm saying not a shell or a combination that I would want to try and use. It kind of is what it is, I guess, on this one. I was hoping for better, but that's just the way it goes sometimes with these older loads. They're just not loaded quite like the new stuff is. I guess a poor performance is just what we get for today. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance there? Definitely not great. Not impressed whatsoever. We've absolutely seen better, and there's definitely better loads out there, no question about it. If you can't find a buckshot load that shoots better than that, then you've got other problems with your setup. So definitely nothing short of a disappointment today, but I guess that's what we can kind of expect out of an old load with absolutely nothing to help it out. No wad, no buffer, no anything. But as usual, leave your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see, or were you a little bit disappointed? And if you have any experience with these old Federal Magnum Buckshot loads, how have they performed for you? And if they've done better, what kind of setup have you tested them through? Let me know all that down in the comments. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to film for y'all, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we do have the channel Instagram as well as a mailbox where you can send stuff to the channel if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it. But I'm going to get back to the testing, so I'll see y'all in the next one.